Hello, Warriors of Light, and welcome to my weekly podcast that covers different Final Fantasy XIV topics. This is my 25th podcast of 2025 and the 77th episode in the series. Like usual, I will be dividing this podcast into two parts. For the first part, I will be commenting on one topic from the Japanese General Forum. Naoki Yoshida presenting as guest of honor at the 2025 Anime Expo in Los Angeles. The release of the Dark Decade CD. The 87th episode of Letter from the Producer, and the collaboration between Final Fantasy XIV and K.UNO. For the second part of the podcast, I will be commenting on Season 15 of the Crystalline conflict, the new optional items in the Final Fantasy XIV online store, the recommencement of automatic housing demolitions on North American data centers, the latest episode of Duty Commenced, the new downloadable mini-music album, and the release of patch 7.25. Today is June 21st, 2025. So, this year I will randomly pick general official forum topics in different languages and give gamers my thoughts on them. So, today, I will be commenting on a thread from the Japanese forum titled Ranch Gamen no Mikiere, or in English as Missing Launcher Screen, that was created by a user named Jinzianako. This discussion was started in April of 2025 and asks about fixing the Final Fantasy XIV launcher screen for Windows. So, upon the release of patch 7.21, it was confirmed that there was an issue with the Windows version of the launcher, where text and images were enlarged or reduced in size and were not displayed correctly. Upon further investigation, it was determined that the changes made to the launcher's drawing system in patch 7.21 had been affected by the text size settings in Windows. If gamers are still having a display issue with their launcher, gamers can first go to their Windows settings, and then look into their accessibility or ease of access section, and finally adjust their Windows text size. So, in closing this part, I highly recommend gamers to take a look at this Japanese discussion and use this course of action to fix their game launchers. Next, the Final Fantasy XIV team will be at the Anime Expo 2025 in Los Angeles this summer, and Naoki Yoshida will be presenting as a guest of honor. Gamers can journey with Naoki Yoshida as he looks back on his life, early career, and experiences. The Anime Expo will be held at the Los Angeles Convention Center at 1201 South Figueroa Street in Los Angeles, California, from July 3rd to July 6th. The Final Fantasy XIV team will be at booth SH-3314 and will have lots of fun giveaways for attendees, such as Dawntrail-themed carrying bags, Dawntrail-themed folding hand fans, and more. Gamers that wish to attend this event should register on the website today. So next, the Dark Decade CD is now available for pre-order and will be on sale in July. The CD tracks include Ride the Rhythm, Back to the Drawing Board, Not Afraid, Unleashed, Be My Honey, and Give It All. In addition, the official website of the Primals will preview band arrangements of Give It All and other favorites from the Arcadian, so gamers can enjoy these breathtaking performances while waiting for the upcoming tour. I highly recommend gamers to visit the Primal's website today. So next, the 87th episode titled Letter from the Producer was broadcasted on June 20th and included details about patch 7.3. For this topic, a completely AI-translated version of the entire 3-hour video has been created and split into 4 parts. Gamers should be able to watch the entire video translated in both English and Russian. Next, the Final Fantasy XIV team has collaborated with K.UNO, and a detailed recreation of Alphinaud and Alice's silver ear cuffs are now available for pre-order. K.UNO is a world-renowned company that has worked with a number of Fortune 500 companies, including Disney, and highly recognized for its diamond-studded jewelry. Gamers can expect an extremely well-crafted silver ear cuff with detailed and decorative designs. I highly recommend gamers to check out both the Square Enix store and the K.UNO website. So now, we will take a small break and continue on to part 2 of this podcast in a few moments. Welcome back, everyone. So, for part 2 of this podcast, I will be commenting on Season 15 of the Crystalline conflict, the new optional items in the Final Fantasy XIV online store, the recommencement of automatic housing demolitions on North American data centers. The latest episode of Duty commenced, the new downloadable mini-music album, and the release of patch 7.25. So, Season 15 of the Crystalline conflict has already started, and gamers can aspire to even greater heights. To participate, gamers will need to complete the following quests associated with your Grand Company and sign up to battle in Duty Finder under the PvP section. In addition, ranked matches will be hosted in the following data centers, and gamers can register for ranked matches from the applicable logical data center. I highly recommend gamers to participate for the rare weapons and mounts. Next, the Final Fantasy XIV online store released new optional items. Gamers can purchase a new mount titled His Royal Headness on Parade. Gamers can also purchase the authentic Kakshuer dining table, the authentic Senior Sabatender chronometer, and the new imp attire. Gamers can find more information from the Final Fantasy XIV online store. Next, the automatic housing demolition timer for worlds in the North American data center, which was halted temporarily in January 2025, has already started. The counter for automatic demolition may be reset for certain estates depending on the usage of housing during the period when estate demolition was suspended. If an estate hasn't been built on the plot, the counter may be reset upon entering the estate once it has been built. For players who have not entered their estates for at least 30 days, the status under the Estate tab of the timer's window will indicate the estate is being prepared for demolition and denote the number of days remaining. This status will no longer be displayed upon entering the estate. Gamers can find more information on the Lodestone website. Next, the latest episode of Duty Commenced was broadcasted on June 4th, and the 4 hosts, Danielle, Sarah, Brian Ricardo, and Aya, battled with fellow Warriors of Light in shocking, jaw-dropping PvP matches. In addition, Danielle, Aya, and Sarah, also known as Okiyomi, Sisseeker, and Minerine respectively, showcased with Brian Ricardo the latest entries from talented content creators and artists during the community commendation segment for prizes and giveaways, such as the Fat Cat figurine. The Fierce episode is now available to watch on the Lodestone website or on the official Final Fantasy XIV Twitch channel. Next, the new downloadable mini-album titled Final Fantasy XIV, Dawntrail EP5 is now available, and includes music from the Arcadians' Cruiserweight tier matches, the Underkeep Dungeon, and the Recollection Battle. The official tracks included with this digital download are Ride the Rhythm, Back to the Drawing Board, Not Afraid, Unleashed, Find the Princess, and Roses of May. Gamers can purchase these songs in the iTunes Store and from Amazon Music. In addition, gamers can also purchase these songs from Mora, Rekochoko, Anemolo, and Dwango in Japan. Gamers can find more information on the official Lodestone website. Lastly, patch 7.25 was released on May 27th and included a new field operation named Crescent Isle, Mirage Island with an area named the Occult Crescent South Horn. In addition, the patch also included Mamul J Allied Society quests and more Hildebrand adventure quests. Also, phantom weapons are now obtainable through new weapon enhancement quests by working with Geralt Blackthorn, the legendary blacksmith for all relic weapons in Final Fantasy XIV. To participate in the new field operation, gamers will need to speak to the Expedition Messenger in Tuliolal and start the quest titled One Last Hurrah. Gamers must have completed the main scenario quest Dawntrail. To participate in the Mamul J Allied Society quests, gamers will need to speak to Gotal J in Yaktia L and start the quest titled Cultivating Hope. Gamers must have completed the main scenario quest Dawntrail and the side quest One Forest. So, to participate in the Hildebrand adventure quests, gamers will need to speak to Nashum Hakaraka in Solution 9 and start the quest titled Wizened Testimony. Gamers must have completed the main scenario quest titled Crossroads and the quest titled The Case of the Displaced Inspector. And to participate in the Phantom Weapons quests, gamers will need to speak to Leader Say in the Phantom Village and start the quest titled Arcane Artistry. Gamers must first complete the side quest Unfamiliar Territory to begin the Phantom Weapon quests. And that's all I have for my 25th podcast for 2025. If you enjoy my podcasts, you can subscribe to my English podcast channels on YouTube and Rumble, and my Russian channels on RuTube and VKontakte. Also, you can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, under Dynamis Ryne. Each week, I try to answer comments and questions found on my channels through my weekly podcasts. Feel free to post on my social media platforms and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.